So just tell me what kind of things you've been hearing today.
Here tonight at the Facing the Mortgage Crisis phone bank, I've been seeing quite a different story from many different people, whether it's folks asking questions about short sales, someone that owns a mobile home and hasn't been able to pay lot rent, or a family member calling for their daughter or son, asking questions, trying to get them in touch with the right people.
And so, I mean, what sort of thing do you think will be maybe a common solution for some of these people, or I mean, what are we doing today? Like,
Well,
how do you think we're going to end up helping these people?
What I'm telling most of the folks is that I can answer specific questions on the phone, but it's in their best interest to reach out and talk to a housing counselor, and that's who we're getting them in touch with, and making sure it's okay that a housing counselor actually calls them here in the next 2 days to be able to get down to the details of their situation to help them out. Every situation is different, meaning that there's different outcomes and solutions for each situation. So it's hard to say that there's a general fix, but the best starting point is to talk with a housing counselor, because they know what those options are, and they deal with the mortgage companies on a daily basis and are able to help the homeowner navigate those mortgage companies and the servicers in their phone systems.
So we're doing again this in like August or something, I think.
Yep.
So I mean, if you were to do anything to, like, if we were something we wanted to tell people, like, before they call in next time, what should they know?
They should know their servicer, whether they've talked to their mortgage company or not, and they should have a good understanding of their financial situation, their budget, their income, their expenses, and if they can get to the point where they can calculate how much they're making in terms of a payment each month compared to how much they bring in, and finding out what that percentage is, that will really go a long way in starting in the counseling sessions.
So earlier this year, a lot of banks gave homeowners a moratorium of a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, in order to try and alleviate some of the foreclosures that were occurring. During that time, homeowners were supposed to start working on becoming employed, saving money, and staying in communication with the mortgage company. That didn't happen with every homeowner. Lately, we've been receiving a lot of phone calls from people whose homes were foreclosed on earlier in July and had no idea because they had lost communication with the mortgage company. Best thing to do is, if your mortgage company did provide you with a moratorium, that you stay in communication with them and get a hold of them, as well as a HUD-approved nonprofit housing counselor, to see where you stand and what options exist for you.
So basically, you should never sit back and kind of wait for something to happen.
Absolutely never stand by and just wait for the mortgage company to contact you, or wait for something to happen, because that is when you'll be foreclosed on. And once you're foreclosed, once your property is foreclosed, there are no options for you other than to move out and avoid an eviction.
Is there such a thing as calling your lender too often when you're in foreclosure?
The mortgage company may think that there is too often to call, but we suggest at least once a week, if not every other day, just to make sure that you stay on top. If your situation changes, if your income changes, or anything changes, you definitely want to contact the mortgage company. If nothing's changing, you also want to contact them and let them know nothing's changing. That way, there are records on file that you're contacting them to help your situation.
Or how does the housing counselor fit into all of this?
Housing counselor helps the homeowner communicate more efficiently with the mortgage company. They can also help decipher what the mortgage company is saying, since some people think that they speak a different language called mortgage language. Housing counselors can also help educate on what to do next. So if you are approved for a loan modification, they can help you review the paperwork, help you understand what that means, what deadlines exist for you, and what happens if you don't meet those. If you're not approved for a workout option, then they can help you understand what the next process would be to avoid an eviction.
Maybe it's just a matter of getting them to correct it in the system. You can start that training. I think that would be most helpful. Okay, if I could get your name and number, I'd be more than happy to have somebody call you.
601-46